Okay, so today we are working with proportions still, and so that's one of the things that I'm finding that as you're working with these, I think you're getting more comfortable with them, but we're not still totally understanding maybe the multiplication and the dividing that we need to do to get our answers. So far, we have used the vertical strategy, okay? So far we've been working with the vertical strategy. What do you have to do to the numbers in the top row to achieve the numbers in the bottom row? Or vice versa, what do you have to do to the numbers in the bottom row to achieve the numbers in the top row? What's the patterns that are going on? Well, so here's an example. If we have 2 over 6, the ratio 2 over 6 set equal to the ratio y over 18, what's a ratio set equal to a ratio called again? A ratio equal to another ratio is called a, starts with a P, proportion, yeah. A ratio set equal to another ratio is called a proportion. So we have the proportion 2/6 equals y over 18. In this one, so I think here's maybe where we're having a little bit of confusion, so I need you really to pay attention here. If we need to find y, that's what we need to find in this one, we need to get from 18 to y. We need to be able to go from 18 to y. What do we have to do to 18 to get y? Well, we look at the other ratio and say, well, let's just look at what we had to do then to get from the denominator 6 to the numerator 2. What do you have to do to 6 to get 2?
Divide.
Divide. We divide by what? 3. We need to divide by 3. To move from the bottom row to the top row, to move from the denominator to the numerator, we need to do a division problem. So to get y, we're going to do 18 divided by 3, and that should give us our y value. 18 divided by 3 should equal y. So what's 18 divided by 3? 6. So our y value in that proportion is 6. So many of you, here's what you're doing. You would write this instead as 6 times 3 is 18. We're looking for 6. We don't know 6. We need to find it. So how are we finding it? So we're doing it in this case by dividing. So questions about that, because I'm not really sure we're understanding that. Okay, then today what I'm introducing that's new is, well, sometimes the vertical strategy is not friendly. So then I say, let's try horizontal. So this same problem could be done using the horizontal strategy. So we need to get to y, so we say, we're going to have to move from the numerator to the denominator to get our y. So here, or the numerator to the other numerator, excuse me. So then we look down here and say, what do you have to do to the denominator 6 to get the denominator 48? So it's like renaming fractions when we're looking for fair shares, isn't it? 6 times 3 is 18, so then 2 times 3 should give us our y value. Fill in that y there. 2 times 3 should give us our y value then. So what is our y value?
6.
Just like it was when we used the vertical strategy. We got the same answer. So sometimes you say, well, the vertical strategy will work, but so will the horizontal strategy. But not always is that the case. So let's do an example where I guess we'll do it on our practice on the next page. The other thing I want to talk about is with horizontal strategy. Just like with vertical strategy, we can use division. So sometimes we divide in vertical strategy, don't we? We often divide, not multiply. So we can use division also. So since in this one right here, we need x, this is what we're looking for. We say, what do you have to do to 3 to get x? When we look downstairs and say, what did you have to do to 9 to get 3? You have to divide by 3. So if we divide by 3 downstairs, we would do it upstairs also. So we say 3 divided by 3 would give us our x. So our x equals 1. So we can use, and we never use subtraction or addition with our proportions. we always use multiplication or division. And we talk about doing it vertically, up to down, down to up, or we talk about doing it horizontally, left to right, or right to left. Okay? So this was just a little sideline to the notes, and now we'll go on to this apply skills page and practice. Okay? So let's go over to that next page. Let's do some practice here. Okay, here's the first example that has already been done for us. It says right here, in this particular problem, the y value is equal to 4. And how was it arrived at? Was vertical strategy used or horizontal strategy used in that one? Horizontal. If it's going left and right, we're talking horizontal. So we need to get from 8 to y. So what do we do downstairs to get from 10 to 5 then? We divide by 2. So we have to divide by 2 to get, so 8 divided by 2 gives us our y. Could we have used vertical strategy in this one? Would vertical strategy have been friendly? So let's go over here off to the side and let's write this one again. Y over 5, and we can write it as a proportion, equals 8 over 10. In the table there, we used horizontal strategy. Is this a friendly one for vertical strategy? What do you think? So in other words, we need to get from 5 up to y. So we go over here and we say, what do you have to do to get from 10 to 8? Is that friendly? No, it's not friendly. So in this case, the horizontal strategy is really the friendly one, isn't it? The one to use. So sometimes you're going to want to make a good decision. Which should I use? Should I use the horizontal or should I use the vertical? Okay, so let's go start practicing here. We have our table with green marbles and yellow marbles. And we're looking for y. So we're looking for y. Y is upstairs, so we need to go from, you know what, let's go over here and let's write our proportion. I think it would be good for us to see these written outside of a table. Y over 5 equals 6 over 10. So we need to find y. We have two choices here. We could go from 5 to y. We could go like this. That's the vertical strategy. How does that look? Does that look friendly? Do you know what to do to 10 to get 6? No, that's not very friendly. Okay, so we say, well, ditch that. That's not very friendly. Let's try horizontal. So we need to get from 6 to y. So what can we do from 10 to 5? Divide by 2. So that means our division problem would be 6 divided by 2 should give us our y. And 6 divided by 2 is 3. So y equals 3. And what color marbles are these? Green. Now, here's one thing I don't think is happening in your worlds. After you get your answer, I don't think you're stopping and saying, does my answer make sense? Because in this particular table, what is there more of in the ratio? More green or more yellow? There's more yellow, okay? So in this case, we were looking for the green, so should we have gotten a smaller number than 5? Because there's supposed to be more yellow, right? Do you think our answer seems reasonable? There's fewer green than there are yellow, just like there is in the other ratio. So yes. So we don't want to just be happy that we got an answer. It was a nice whole number. We want to make sure that it makes sense, that it's reasonable. Okay? Questions? Okay, I want you to first write the proportion in the next one. What would the proportion look like? Write it off to the side of the table. How would this proportion look? Can somebody share with me, what does your proportion look like? 0?
2/7 equals 8 over 5.
Okay, 2/7 equals 8 over y. Okay? Now make a decision. Do you think this would be a good one to use horizontal strategy for or vertical strategy for? Which one do you think is a good one? In other words, we have to get to y. So we either have this choice, we can go from 8 down to y, or we have this choice, we could go from 7 to y, which means then we would go 2 to 8. Which one's friendly? Both of them? How about the 2 to 7? Is that friendly? You know what to do to 2 to get 7? That's nice anyway? No. Okay, so we are going to ditch the vertical strategy, aren't we? Let's try horizontal. Hopefully that'll work. How about horizontal? What do you have to do to 2 to get 8? Times it by 4. Oh, that one's nice. Okay. So our equation is going to be what? What would we write for an equation? 7 times 4 equals y. So what is 7 times 4? 28. So that's 28 what?
Red marbles. Oh, no, marbles. Yellow marbles.
Yellow marbles, okay. 28 yellow marbles. Next question is, does that seem reasonable? Reasonable? Tell me why it's reasonable. Danny? Because what? I'm sorry, I'm not sure. 28 is the denominator for 8. Okay, 28 is the denominator for 8. Okay, so why does that make sense that 28 could be a denominator for 8? Why does it make sense that 28 is a good denominator for 8? I agree. I think it is a good denominator, but why does it make sense that it is a good denominator for 8? Wait. That's you just waiting at me. Danny, why is it a good denominator? It's bigger than 8. And is the 7, the denominator in the other ratio, bigger than its numerator? Is 7 bigger than 2? Yeah, so that seems reasonable. We should have ended up with a denominator bigger than 8 because 7 in this one is bigger than the numerator too. So again, we want to make sure that our answer makes sense. Okay, I want you to totally try number 3 on your own here. Totally try 3 on your own. Set up the proportion first. Make a decision about horizontal or vertical strategy. Write your equation. Which one's friendly this time? Both of them or just one of them? Just one of them? Okay, which one? The what? So in other words, if it's the horizontal, we would have to be able to say what times 2 gives us 3. Is that friendly? Not so much. I mean, we could figure out what it is, but it's not real friendly, is it? If we use the horizontal, we have to figure out what times 2 gives us 6. Is that friendly? Yeah. Okay, so we're going to do what? Multiply by 3. We're going to multiply by 3. So what's the equation read then? 3 times 2? 3 times 3, it's right there. 3 times 3 equals y. So y is 9. 9 what? Reasonable? Why? It's bigger than its what?
Denominator.
No, it is the denominator. It's bigger than its numerator, and is the other ratio's denominator bigger than its numerator? Yes, okay, then we're feeling good about it. Okay, how many of you were successful on your own without having to get guided here? Okay, some of us. Let's try another one then. Let's go, let's keep moving. By the way, what kind of relationships are all those 3 on the front that we just practiced? Are they part to part, part to whole, or some of both? Let's look. Let's go back and look. Part to part, relationships, part to whole. First one, we're comparing red marbles to blue marbles. Okay, here's what would be a little hint that we're doing whole. Total, the word total. So that's a part to part. How about the next one? Part to part. How about the next one? Oh, I think they're all going to be part to parts, huh? Looking like maybe. Okay, let's move on to this next one. Kelia, can you tell me what the proportion is I should write down in number 4? Did you say 1 over y? Okay, equals 4 over 12, 4/12. Okay. Next decision, how do we get y? We have 2 choices. We can go from 1 down to y, or we can go from 12 over to y. So which one's going to be the friendliest? Does it matter this time? It does? If we go from 4 to 12, what are you going to do? Multiply by 3. If you go from 4 to 1, the red arrow, what are you going to do? Divide by 4. Aren't they both friendly? So you get to make a call here which one you want to do. Okay? So it seems like we kind of like this one better than multiplying by 3, huh? But we also could do the dividing way. Okay, so I'm going to write 2 different equations. You decide which one you want to do. Okay, so my first, if I do the vertical one, I'm going to do 1 times 3 equals y. If I do the horizontal one, I'm going to do 12 divided by 4 equals y. So again, I'm only using the numbers that we knew to begin with. Y is representing the unknown. 1 times 3 class is 3. 12 divided by 4 classes?
3.
Oh, either way we get 3. So this is called an OR situation. You did not have to do both. It's called, this one, horizontal strategy was friendly, and so was vertical strategy friendly. Okay, you have some catching up to do, huh? Okay, everybody got this? I'm not going to tolerate you sitting here not doing these, so. Okay, I want the next one totally done on your own. And we're going to move it on until everybody has it done, and we're going to check to see how you did on it. question, what are you gonna do, horizontal or vertical? This is one of those that only one of the strategies is really friendly. Remember, you always want to get your arrow should be pointing at your variable. The arrow should be pointing at your variable. Is horizontal strategy friendly in this one? No, we have to figure out what times 2 gives us 5, not so friendly, right? How about vertical strategy, is that one friendly? Yes, we have to figure out what times 2 gives us 4. So what do we do in the vertical strategy? Multiply by 2. So give me my equation. Wait, what's the equation for this one?
5 times 2
Equals y. There's the original equation, we should have that. 5 times 2 equals y. And then y equals 10. So I need the equation first with the variable, and we gotta get used to working with equations with variables in them. And it's 10 what? What color marbles?
Green.
Green marbles. Reasonable answer? Reasonable? What is there more of in the first ratio? Green or yellow? Green. Did we end up with more green than yellow in this ratio? Is 10 more than 5?
No.
So why are some of you shaking your head, no, this is not reasonable? In the first ratio, we have more green than we do yellow. In this ratio, when we found 10 for our green, we have more green than we do yellow. This is reasonable, isn't it? Okay. 2 more, then we're gonna be done. Give me the equation. Kaden, what's the equation? Okay, wait, I want you to pick up your stuff and you head right back to that table where Miss Borg is standing right now. Kaden, give me the equation that we can write for this one.
8/6 equals 4/1.
Okay? We need the arrows to point to the y. So if we do a vertical arrow, it's going to come from what to what? Go from what to what? No, let's start with just worrying about the y. Vertically, it would go from what to what? 4 to y. After you've made that decision, now you're ready to go over and do it 8 to 6. That one friendly? What do you do to 8 to get 6? Yeah. Okay. So now our next one, if we're going to do it horizontally, then what should our arrow go from what to what? I want the y involved. 6 over to y. So if it goes from 6 to y, then it goes from 8 to 4 upstairs. Is that one friendlier? What do we do to 8 to get 4? We divide by 2. So our equation with a y in it reads what? Derek, what's our equation?
8 times 4. Or not 8 divided by 4.
Where the y is in that setup. Hi, Kia, can you help him out? So we just follow it right here, Derek. 6 divided by 2 equals y. 6 divided by 2, class, is 3. So there are 3 what? Gray marbles. Seem reasonable? Reasonable? Why? Why is it reasonable? supposed to be what? No, this is a denominator. Is it bigger than its numerator? Is 3 bigger than 4?
No.
No, so how about the other denominator? Is 6 bigger than 8? No, so we need 2 no's, don't we, for it to be reasonable? Oh my goodness, why is that so hard to do? What's the deal? Okay, last one. Give me the proportion that I can set up for this one. Sierra?
5 nines equals 15 over y.
Okay. Tell me how I can draw an arrow vertically in this one. Harley? Vertically. From 15 to y. Okay, so if I draw from 15 to y, then I go from 5 to 9. Vertical strategy friendly in this one? No. Okay, then we're going to move over and we're going to do then, what would the horizontal arrow be? From what to what? From 9 to y, which means that we would go from 5 to 15. Is that friendly?
Yes.
Oh, thank goodness. 5. How do we get from 5 to 15?
5 times 3.
5 times 3. So down here we have to do times 3, don't we? So 9 times 3 equals y. And 9 times 3 is? 27. So there are 27 what? Red marbles. Reasonable? What's there more of, red or gray? What's there more of, red or gray? Red. Did we get more red marbles than gray marbles when we got 27? Yes, we did. Okay. So there's not going to be any more time for you to mess around with these and not understand them. We need to get this right now. Okay? So questions. Okay, no pretending. You have to figure this out.